This is the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat, a car that's relentlessly fast, unapologetically loud, and unwaveringly ferocious in almost every way. It's a throwback, the product of an age the world has long left behind. To me, this is the world's last great muscle car.
The recipe for this one is actually pretty simple. What you do is you start with a relatively affordable American coupe. You make sure it's rear-wheel drive, and then you cram the engine bay with the biggest, nastiest V8 you can find. In this case, a 6.2-litre supercharged HEMI.
Then you give the driver a choice of key. Those who choose the black key have access to an impressive 500 horsepower. Not bad, but to unlock the Hellcat's full fury, you'll need the red key. Officially, the Hellcat will do 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. The fastest I managed was just 5.9 seconds. As for the quarter mile, Dodge says it'll do 10.8 straight out the box. In reality, away from the sticky rubber of a dedicated drag strip, these acceleration figures are largely impossible. In fact, I suspect the car might be quicker in day-to-day situations with the black key.
Numbers are important, of course they are, it's a muscle car, it's all about bragging rights in this thing, but even if it can't achieve the numbers every single time, it's so engaging to drive. It really is a thrill a minute. It just keeps you so engaged with the experience. As you might have seen, it finds it difficult to put the power down off a standstill, but actually it's hard to put the power down pretty much anywhere because it doesn't matter whether you're in second, third, fourth, it just wants to spin up. It's a lunatic. How is this car road legal? You lose concentration for a second and you are toast. When you drive this car, you have to pay full attention. And even when it's not moving, it's a car that's very good at doing exactly that, making people pay attention. Because look at it. Now, I'm sure my American watchers might be sick to the back teeth of seeing Hellcats on their streets, but in the UK, this thing stands out a mile in a good way. If you like standing out, you're gonna love this car.
It certainly is when it comes to styling. The Hellcat is based on the standard Challenger, which is iconic in its design. Its blocky, aggressive shape is synonymous with the term muscle car. This particular vehicle has the optional $6,000 wide-body pack for those bulging wheel arches. It has a 3D Hellcat badge and unique alloys known as the Devil's Rim, wrapped in 305/35 ZR20 all-season Pirelli P0 tires all round. The signature belt line, which stays flat until a dramatic kick upwards towards the rear, is a highlight. The fuel cap is prominently placed as an item you're likely to become very familiar with, and at the rear, it's all rectangles, from the spoiler to the lights to the exhaust tips.
The front end is what really makes a Challenger a Challenger. It's so unique and aggressive with this kind of recessed grille, this aggressive overhang from the bonnet. It has a face that almost looks like it's annoyed with the world around it, and especially what the automotive industry has become in 2022. I feel you, big man, I feel you. Now these eyes, these piercing eyes, actually they're literally pierced, because if you look closely, not only are they circular DRLs, but they're also hollowed out. The one on that side is a dummy, but this one actually feeds air directly into the air filter. On the bonnet, you've got these twin snorkel intakes, which also feed air into the air filter. On the previous generation car, it came with a single intake, but here you've got two intakes, which is what accounts for the difference in performance between the two generations. On the original car, you had 707, and on this one, you have 717. But of course, the Hellcat is not naturally aspirated, helping it breathe and living smack bang on the top of that 6.2 litre HEMI is a 2.4 litre supercharger, and it's a screamer.
The performance of the Hellcat is of course affected by its weight. It's very heavy, well over 2 tons, but apply that immense torque and the weight melts away, at least in a straight line. The Hellcat is different. It's a throwback. It's more simple, raw, visceral. It's a relentlessly fast, unapologetically loud, and unwaveringly ferocious monument to power and speed. The product of an age the world is fast leaving behind. Even the next model will be electric, and that's further proof to me that the Hellcat is the last great muscle car. The Hellcat loves to go sideways, but the good news is that the car is very stable, even at absurd angles, which is just as well, because it's basically impossible, even with the traction control switched on, not to go sideways in this car. When you're done melting the tires and heating the engine, the Hellcat has another great trick up its sleeve. It will actually divert cool air from the aircon away from the cabin to the engine to keep things at an appropriate temperature so you can keep the fun going, as long as the fuel lasts, of course. Ultimately, the Hellcat is not the most sophisticated car in terms of handling. It would get left for dead by rivals like the Mustang Shelby GT500 or European foes like the M5 Competition or Mercedes E63. But I don't think that matters, because this car isn't trying to beat any of those cars at their game. It's unapologetically true to itself.